Seems like I've been waiting forever for this wire to come in, and it was delayed in shipment for some reason. It's finally here, so now I'm going to be able to not only finish the wiring and finish the interior walls, but maybe even build another cabinet or two. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and I've been waiting, I think, for 2 weeks for this wire. It was delayed. I don't really know why, but I tried to source it locally, but the only thing I could find was speaker wire, and that's just not heavy enough, so I had to wait. But in the meantime, I have not been idle. I got the dinette bed done. I got the kitchen done. So we're all very happy with that. So that means now I can work on the other side that has not had any work done on it at all. So I'm not really ready to start installing any of the electrical devices yet, like the switches and the receptacles and all that kind of stuff. I just want to finish the rough wiring, and I'll do that later. With one exception, and that's the lights on the ceiling. I'm using these little puck lights, and I'm going to be putting 4 of them across here. And so I want to do it now while I can get to it. I'll drill a hole, and then I can run the wires before I put the other ceiling piece up. Be much easier to do now when I can get to the back side of it. So I now have all the walls hung. I have the ceiling hung. I didn't show that because I showed doing the walls on this side in 2 videos ago, so it's just more of the same. I also have the lights in. They're on a switch and they're working. So I got all the walls completely finished. To be completely honest, I didn't film that because I'm running out of time. This is Monday and we're leaving this coming Sunday, so I've only got 6 days left to get this done. And when I record, I love doing it for you guys, but when I record, I add about 40 to 50% of the time that it takes me to do the job. So if I'm doing a job that should take an hour, it takes me about an hour and a half if I'm filming, because I gotta move the camera around and then I gotta stop and talk to you guys, explain what I'm doing. It makes it way slow. So I gotta get this done. I'm frantic right now. It's not going to be finished before we leave, obviously, but it's at least hopefully going to be livable with the systems intact or ready to be finished when we get to Utah. So now the next thing to do is paint all the walls. And I have a lot of molding that needs to be done. In the corners all along there, molding to fill in the gaps. I'm not going to do that now. Once again, I don't have the time. That's not essential at this point. I just want to get the walls painted and then move on. And then once we get back from our trip, then I can put all the moldings in and make it, you know, pretty. Now the paint is Sherwin-Williams. Elizabeth picked it out. It's a color called Oxford White. It's white with just a slight tint of gray silver that'll go nicely with the gray countertop and also with the gray tiles that we're going to have. So we selected the white cabinets and the kind of off-white grayish sort of walls because we like it bright, and then we will have all set by the dark brick and also by the dark gray cushions on the dinette to really bring out some accent. So now I'm going to finally be able to start on this last project, which is a floor to ceiling cabinet that the refrigerator will go in and a bunch of extra storage and all that kind of stuff. It's where we'll keep our clothes and that sort of thing. I want to mention that I've been a carpenter all my life, but I'm a framing carpenter, basically not a finishing carpenter. In other words, I'm not a cabinet maker. This piece up on the wall here gives me something to attach this to.
Told you it wouldn't be fancy using L brackets. But those brackets will be up inside and they'll be painted white. You won't even see them. Notch there, notch there, looking good.
These are pre-drilled so they don't split. This isn't straight across the top. This is 3/4 of an inch higher than that because of the bow of the roof. And so I cut that paper in there. And I couldn't have nailed it more perfectly than that. Very happy with that. I don't have time right now, but eventually there'll be molding all around here. Now I'm putting a shelf right here, and this is where the refrigerator will sit. And the refrigerator is fairly heavy, so I didn't want the shelf just kind of tacked in from the end. So I put this wood all the way down to the bottom on both sides to give it a real solid base to sit on to hold the weight of the refrigerator, especially when it's full of food. So that goes right in there, and then it's fully supported all the way down to the floor for the refrigerator to sit on. Now this is the fridge that we will be using. It's a Set Power fridge. So far we've only used it a few times, but every time we use it, we absolutely love it. It has two separate compartments. This one isn't quite as deep because the compressor is underneath. This one is much larger and much deeper. It goes all the way to the bottom. And these can be set independently. Both of them can be refrigerators, both of them can be freezers, or you can set one as a fridge and one as a freezer, and you have complete control over what you want to do. I have a more thorough review of this refrigerator, and I'll put a link up here on the page and on the end screen and down below. Also, I have a discount code. If you look at the description down below, you'll see the link to our review video and the discount code should you want to get one. We absolutely love this thing. Now, along with our Set Power refrigerator, we also got this optional slide out. It was an extra option that we purchased, and I really like it. I need to bolt this down. I don't have any bolts right now, so for now I'm just going to screw them down. Can't find my screws. There they are. For now I'm just going to screw it down, but then I'm going to get probably 4 or maybe 6 bolts to bolt it down as well. See how this thing works. It locks in different places, so yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. And when we're done with it, just push it right back in and it locks in place. I love that. I still need to put a plug, install a plug back here, 12-volt plug to be able to plug it in. But I'm really happy with this. Now at this point, I'm just kind of slowly panicking because I only have 2 days left to work on this thing before we leave. This is Thursday morning. I got Thursday and Friday. We're leaving Sunday morning. I got Thursday and Friday to work on this. Realistically, Saturday I won't be able to do any work because things like I got to mow the lawn, we got to get the house ready to go. You can't just leave it for 6 weeks. You got to make sure the refrigerator's clean and all that stuff. We got to pack all of our stuff into here and figure out what we're doing. It's going to take all day Saturday. So I made a list of the things that are essential to be done before we leave. There's going to be a lot of things that aren't finished. This was the last major build that I had, but it's not going to be painted. There's not going to be moldings anywhere. There's not going to be the flooring. We have a nice tile flooring. I don't have time for that. Some of the plumbing, I'm not going to have time for. I'm going to end up doing that out in Utah. So at this point, the rest of this video is just all of these nitpicky little things that need to be done before we leave in the next 2 days. We'll see how it goes.
desk for editing videos. That's gonna work. This is for me to grab when I climb up into my bunk. It's going to be sort of awkward that I've got this grab bar right here by the receptacle, but that's where the stud is. That's where it's got to go. If I had realized that, I would move the receptacle over to the next stud. Grab bar there, grab bar there. Yeah, I think that's going to work. There's not much room up here.
Okay, Bill has now finished this awesome storage unit. Now, obviously, it's not painted yet. It's going to get fixed up a little bit more, but there's just not time before we do our trip. But all I really care about is the functionality, and I'm very happy with this. For one thing, it's kind of fun because now with this wall here, I don't know, the dinette right there forms kind of a cute little kitchen nook. If I'm sleeping with my head down there, it provides just a little bit of a cozy blocking of any light or whatever. Anyway, I just think it looks really cool. Now, over here in this first section, we built this up where the floor is raised, and you know, we've said before that the table just slides right under there. So I really need to have this walker with me. Not very often, but if we are going to be, well, my high school reunion, at my 50th, we're going to be taking a tour of the massive high school building that I went to school in. And there's just times when I need it if I'm going to be out somewhere where there's nowhere to sit down because I might lose my balance. So it can tuck right in here. And then we can actually have a little hanging rod up here and just hang a few things down there. And, you know, there'll be room there. And just for a couple of things. And then, you know, someday if I didn't need the walker, it would be a closet. But it's great for my walker. Now here we're going to put our clothing storage. These milk crates. Milk crates. Thank you, hon. These milk crates. It's designed so that not only does this fit in beautifully, but the milk crates fit in too deep. And so we're going to be putting our clothing in these. There will be 6 of them and he's going to have the top one because he can kind of reach into the back to pull the second milk crate out a little more easily than I can. Now, we are absolutely, before we leave, going to have this set up so that there will be like a place for a bungee or some kind of strap to start at the top and come right down and hold these in. So that is going to be taken care of. Okay, now over here, I'll start kind of with this section of it. Now here you can see that Bill has put in nice braces so that stuff isn't going to come flying out very easily. This spot is wonderful for the small appliances we'd like to be able to take. We use the Instapot all the time. Love to pressure cook in it. So, and all sorts of things. But the Instapot will be in here, a coffee maker. There's just odds and ends of things like that are going to fit in here and be well protected. Up here then will be our some cooking pans, just some of the things that we need to cook with. I'm going to have a blender kind of thing with me and just kitchen stuff. Now up on top then, and like I said, Bill's nice and tall, so he reaches things just fine. Up on top, we're going to have a lot of Thrive, and they fit beautifully up in there. So I'm very happy about that. Now, underneath here, I wanted the refrigerator to be up a little bit. In a moment, I'll show you 2 reasons why. But under it, I was able to find a perfect bin that just slides in there, and that is for shoes. I just can't have stuff on the floor that I can be tripping over. So we have a nice place just to pop our shoes in. It works so well. All right, we want to show you a little bit about how this refrigerator works now. So if we see here, of course, there's that latch that you pull up, and then the fridge just slides out. It's wonderful. And then you just open up the tops to get out what you need. So I really appreciated being able to put my shoes under that and raise it a little bit. It makes it a little easier for me to get things out of the fridge. But the main thing is that if I'm going to pull it out, it's easier for me to not be bending clear down to the floor to get a hold of that latch, because I lose my balance so easily. So this is, of course, the wall. Ta-da! But at our entrance, and Bill's put in the light switches. And now here we are going to have, this bar. It's going to be going right about there. I have chosen the place where I want it to be the most. And so this will be something that, along with the bar on the outside, I can use to very safely navigate my way in and out of this room on a regular basis. It's very, very strong, and so I'm going to be very glad to have it. Between the outside and the inside ones, I'll have a lot I can get a hold of. And then we'll eventually have this little mesh bag we're going to hang here for just odds and ends of things we might want to put here as we're coming in. But we have our outside light and our inside light. So anyway, that is our beautiful, very functional closet.
So Elizabeth just said this is our beautiful closet. I will admit it's beautiful in function. It's not so beautiful in form. It's like I said earlier before I started, I'm not a finished carpenter, so the joints are not all perfect and everything, but once you paint it, it'll look fine, and it does what we need to do, and that's all I care about.
Oh, cool. Oh, this is going to be so cool. All right. I'm up to here, and then I just, ta-da! Yeah, that feels really, really solid. Yeah. Thank you. I like it. Whew.
installing seat belts for the back bunk here. There's a very good chance that Elizabeth will be sleeping in the back while I'm driving early in the morning. Sleeper berths for semi-trucks have a net that covers the whole thing to keep the driver that's sleeping safe in case of an accident. And it locks in all across the top, and down there it's this big cargo net. We really wanted to get one of those, but we couldn't find one. The only thing we could find were ones that were replacement netting for specific truck brands like Volvo or Freightliner. And no matter how much we tried, we just couldn't quite make it work in here. So we're doing the next best thing. We just got some seat belts and put it in like that. And when she's laying down, there's one over there and one here. It's not as good as a net. It's not going to catch as much. But when she's laying down, one of them goes right across her body and the other one goes about across her knees. So certainly it's going to be better than nothing. Also, these are lag bolts into wood. These are the studs. That's why these aren't even. They're not in the same place because they're into the studs. I don't know if they're going to be as strong as a bolt through metal. Probably not. But they're certainly going to be better than nothing. So, yeah, I'll get up early in the morning while she's sleeping. I'll buckle her in before we take off. It's the best I can do.
So everything's not totally finished, but we are at the point where we think it's going to function well enough, and we have got to get on the road. So as you can see beside me, we're getting all packed up. We're leaving tomorrow, getting everything all packed up. There will be more things that'll be finished when we get out to Utah. But you know, in the meantime, we feel like it's going to work to get out there. So we promise in the next video we will give you a tour of how everything's set up for us to be able to go ahead and go on our trip.
Okay, so we're ready to hit the road. Thanks for watching.
Yep, live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
Yes, love you guys. We're going to take you along, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.